Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing out there? It's Nikki Smith. N-I-K-I. That's with 1K, guys. And Knowledge by Nikki. All right, that's Knowledge by Nikki Facebook. Knowledge by Nikki Instagram. Knowledge by Nikki Twitter. Knowledge by Nikki LinkedIn. 1K. N-I-K-I. Don't y'all put 2 Ks in my name. I am really deep in thought about the state of our industry, guys. That's where I am today. I'm really deep in thought about the state of our industry. I just left Premier Orlando, which was 2 days, and it's an awesome show. Premier Orlando it is really a wonderful show. Still today, I've been going to Premier since I was in beauty school, guys, and I've been doing hair for like 30 years, so that's a really long time, right? So I've been doing hair for a real long time, and I still enjoy learning. I enjoy hobnobbing and camaraderie with other people that obviously enjoy the same things I do. And I had a lot of different conversations at Premiere. I'm kind of in a solemn mood today, almost in mourning, if you want to call it that. And the things that I talked about. Let me give you the different things that I actually talked about. When I would talk to my people that look like me, black people, when I would talk to them in different aspects of the show, whether they were on the education end or whether they were spectating, it didn't matter. It was interesting to me the differences or the difference in the conversation when I would talk to others. You know how you put other on there? If they not black, they other. I'm going to put it that way. And it was just interesting to me the different conversations I would have, and how when I was talking to other people that were of all nationalities, they were all talking in the term of building their businesses, wealth, money, something that had to do with growth. And they weren't just necessarily talking about it in terms of doing more hair. Not really. So I had many conversations, and when I start noticing something happens, something is happening as far as things that I see are teachable moments, as I always say on these Facebook Lives, I didn't intentionally start doing stuff. So then I started picking conversations with people on purpose in different aspects. I talked to some people that were Hispanic. I talked to some people that were white, Middle Eastern, all kind of stuff. And then obviously I talked to people that were black, that were on the education level, that were teaching, manufacturers. I talked to people that were just spectating. And let me tell you what was the real disheartening part about the difference in the conversation. Everybody I talk to white still loves what they do. They still love this business. They still believe that it is the thing that is going to be able to take care of their children and their children's children, and they're going to be expanding, and they're going to be opening new salons, and just all this different stuff. These were just, maybe about 10 different conversations that I had between both groups. And then I had people that look like me, who I love my people, y'all already know, that even though they're there, even though they're at Premiere, they seemed to me like they were at a place where they were like hopeless. Like, I'm here trying to learn, I'm here trying to do X, Y, Z, but I just don't really know if it's going to make a difference. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this information, or I really don't know how this information is actually going to help me. And it was this sense of, I'm going to go through the motions, I'm going to continue to learn, but I don't see my life getting better. I don't see where this information is helping me. Let me give you a specific conversation with a friend of mine that I've known for many years. And the comment that she made to me was, maybe I just am looking for too much education. Maybe I'm overeducated. Maybe I'm here and I'm going to these classes and I'm just not seeing anything that I want to do, or anything more than what I already know. And I'm sure some of you all have felt that way, that you go somewhere and it's no more than what you already believe you know. Let me tell you something I've learned about that. First of all, I don't believe I will be 50 years old. I do not believe in the fact that I go anywhere and I don't learn something. I just don't believe it. I don't believe if you go somewhere with an open mind and an agenda with what it is that you're trying to do, I just don't believe that you gain nothing. I don't see it. It's never happened to me. Never. And I mean, I am a information junkie. And I have never, ever, with all that I read and all that I know, I've never, ever went anywhere and didn't get something. So I need to ask you this because I'm worried about my industry. I'm worried about the sense of hopelessness that I feel that different people have in this industry. I'm worried about people feeling they're still in it, but they're feeling as if, what's the use? I'm not going to be able to make any more money than I make. You know, I hear everything from people are not going to pay me to I can't find no good stylist to, you know, it's all of these things that I hear that are absolutely not happening. They're absolutely not going, in their minds, they're not going to happen for them. So the thing that I ask you is, if you believe that what you've now invested all your time, all your energy, all your money into is not going to happen, then what are you doing? The reason I believe that our industry now is in a state of emergency, if we want to call it that, is because we have lost hope that it could happen. And I'm looking at my counterparts, they in the game 20 years, 30 years, and they still believe that this thing can work. And I'm talking about people that have owned salons, that have the same ills that we have, that have the same problems with staffing and all these other things. Why is it that they have not lost hope and we have? What is that? Let me tell you what I believe it is. Now, this is my opinion. I believe that my counterparts, first, let me back up. People who don't look like me and are about 10 shades lighter than me, they started off this business differently. They started off this business looking at it as a business and not a hustle. Because a hustle gets old. But as long as you look at it as business, business keeps evolving. So they look at it like, okay, if I started off as a business, because we know the average Caucasian or other, they didn't even start doing booth rental until suites came in. It was unheard of that you go to a white salon and they did booth rental. They were always commission, which commission is where you are running it like a business with a hierarchy, with a manager, with people that are at different levels, making different pay, like a regular job, so to speak. So it was always looked upon that way, which meant that when you look at things through a business eye, there's always a way to tweak it. There's a way to shift it. There's a way to evolve it. There's always something different or better you can do in business. But when you look at it as a hustle, you get tired. You can only hustle so long. You can only hustle so much. I don't care how. A hustle is still a hustle, no matter how you shift it. And a hustle constantly requires you to exhaust more and more and more energy, or do more and more and more hair. And I don't care how much you think you love this business. Eventually, a hustle will get played out, but business is perpetual. And that is something that, as I was having these conversations, I'm looking at our industry trying to be deregulated as far as licensing in different states. I'm looking at salons being shut down by the numbers in different states. I'm looking at all of these things happening. So this is something that is mind-blowing to me, but it also pains me because here I am 30 years in this game, and I still love this business. But it is not because I've learned how to hustle more. I still love it, and I still believe in it because I have learned how to do better business. That is what changed it for me. And I'm afraid that if we don't shift, if we don't start learning about how to do something other than hustle, I'm afraid that our business is on life support, meaning that you are going to see less and less black salons. You're going to see only corporate salons being able to survive in this climate. You're only going to be able to see the salons that more of my black counterparts say they don't want to work at. You're going to see them have nowhere to go, which means you may start seeing people go back home. And what is that going to do? All clients do not want to. I'm actually doing two things at once, guys. So all clients do not want to come to your house. They don't. And those are not the kind of clients that you want. So here we are, guys. I really want you all to look at your businesses, look at where you work if you don't own it, look at what it is that you're doing, and ask yourself from a business standpoint, is this the best that I can do? Because I can tell you from a technical standpoint, you can only do so many clients a day. You could only do so many clients a week. You could only do so many clients an hour. It is only so much you can physically do to sustain yourself in business. And I'm seeing burnout. I'm seeing people like, I'm tired. I'm done. I had someone, this is to show you how it gets real deep for me. I had someone call me last week and ask if I was looking for people to help me coach with my coaching groups. And I am. That is something that I am on the prowl for. So I have a series of questions that I ask them. And I have a series of questions that I kind of, or not questions, but scenarios. More scenarios than questions. But this is the thing that was interesting. This is a person that's telling me they want me to help build other people. They want to help me build other people. But this person has stated that they've lost all hope in this industry. It's a lost cause. They didn't use those terms exactly, but that's basically what they were saying. It's a lost cause. People ain't gonna do no better. They don't want to listen. They just had all these negative statements about what's just not gonna happen. So obviously, I am absolutely totally uninterested in then helping me coach people, because how you gonna help build and grow other people and you don't even believe it's possible? You believe it's a lost cause. It is a lost cause because I'm going to use the line that Jill Scott uses in one of her songs. Just because you have a nightmare does not mean you stop dreaming. And I love when she says that. I know I have been in this industry long enough to have endured a lot of really bad stuff with people. Oh, I could tell y'all some stories. I could have a whole Facebook Live on betrayal, on sabotage, on you name it. I have dealt with all of that. On workers plotting. I've dealt with all of that. But you know what I want you to start doing? Instead of you thinking it's impossible, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, is there any way that I have contributed to what I'm dealing with? And that takes a mature person to ask themselves first, does any of this have anything to do with I either allowed it to happen, I let something go too far without saying something, I gave people the wrong impression, something. I guarantee you, if you look back on your life, personally or professionally, the Bible talks about warning comes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. It is almost nothing that has happened in our lives that we didn't see some yellow light, which means proceed with caution, or even some red light or something that showed us that we need to handle this immediately. A lot of times you've allowed people to think you've let them get away with stuff so long, and then when it all blows up, now you want to say they tripping. No, they were tripping 2 years ago when you saw what was happening and you did nothing about it. They were tripping 2 years ago. They didn't just start tripping. You start allowing people to do stuff. You as owners have been too interpersonal with your workers, where you running, doing everything with them on the same level as they are, and then you wonder why they don't respect you. And then when they all leave, because now you got to put the gavel down, you know what you say? I just can't find no good employees. No, You started that. You started that not working out right, and I'm not saying it's all your fault, but I do want to say you need to look at yourself first. There is nothing that has happened in my life that I didn't have some contribution to. Nothing. And so what I do is, instead of me losing hope and getting mad at everybody and saying this ain't gonna work, this is a lost cause, I say no, because there are people out here that have figured out how to do it. What are they doing that I'm not doing? And I seek out those people, or I say, you know what, let me check myself. What do I need to stop doing first? It's almost like this is what I say about losing weight. And God knows, because I love food, guys. You know why I won't join anybody's diet program? This is why. This is me. I'm not saying this is anybody, and ain't nobody got to follow this. Because I don't need nobody yet to tell me what to add to my regimen, because I already know what to take away. I already know what to stop doing. I already know what to do. So until I'm ready first to stop doing what I'm doing, ain't no need of me asking nobody or paying nobody to tell me what to do, because I do know what to stop eating. We all do know what not to do. So my point is, you got to own some of the responsibilities on how you got to this mindset of I'm done. It also happened because you didn't do things quite the right way either, and did not seek out where to go to learn how to do it right. And doing it right does not mean hustling more. Doing it right means learning how to run your business better, learning how to choose better staff, learning how to do other things. It is not just about, I'm sorry, I've talked to every black person I talk to at Premier. They either are, now I talk to a lot of people that have been in the industry like 20 years, 30 years. I seem to just be talking to a lot of those people. Every single one of them expressed to me that they're trying to evolve in their business. I asked them what classes they were going to. Not one single solitary soul was going to a business class. At least they didn't tell me they were. You know what they all want to do? I want to do trichology. I want to maybe add, lash classes. It's always, look, I get it. We are naturally brawn people since slavery. That is how we learn. And I'm sorry, y'all, and I'm going to say it because I can't think of any other statement that could really accentuate what I really feel. We got to get out of a slave mentality. A slave mentality, because back when we were slaves, all we could do is use our brawn, because they wouldn't allow us to use our brains. All we could do is use our brawn and do more and create more and till the land more. That's all we could do to make it. Well, here we are today still thinking that the only way to make it is by doing more. No, your best ammunition in your life as you grow is going to be knowing more, not doing more. And the more you know, the more options you have, and you realize it ain't a lost cause. I just need to learn some more stuff. But it ain't about you constantly hustling, doing more. That's not what it's about. And so I am vexed right now because I'm worried about my industry. I'm worried that by the time I say I'm done and I'm just speaking and writing books and doing that, I'm worried about what I'm going to see in the distance. I'm worried about what I'm going to see when I go around and I look at different salons and how they're structured, or go to shows and talk to more people at that point. And I'm worried about seeing less and less and less and less salons where people look like me that are successful. I'm worried about it. I'm worried to death about it. I'm worried because I want to see everybody win. I'm the girl. I'm an NBA fan. And I want to see everybody win so much to the point that when I watch the game, I can't root for one team. Every time both sides do something great, I'm jumping up and cheering because I want everybody to win. I can't even figure out if I just want this team to win or if I want everybody to win. I applaud when anybody does well. I don't even care what it is. If you do well, even if you the opposing team, I applaud for you too. My husband says I'm so confused. I'm not confused. I just like to see everybody win. And we're not going to win, guys. It is not going to happen until we stop having a slave mentality to think that we got to keep tilling the land and we have choices now. And we can exhaust our choices, but it will not happen until you learn more about how to run your business and not work in your business. Working your business and running your business is two different things. And that is what I see is the disproportionate difference in how Caucasians and Hispanics and all these other nationalities view their businesses as opposed to how we view ours. And I believe wholeheartedly that this mentality has come from slavery, and that's why whites could have a show where they can say you can't get in and you can't get in without a license, and they can still pack out a show with 60,000 people. That's what Premiere hosts, 60,000 people. Blacks like Bronner, who I love and I will support till Bronner don't exist no more. Bronner, they know as much as they want to do it, they know if they say you cannot be licensed to get in this show, they know that that's going to cut out 50% of the people who actually are in this industry because they're working bogus. They know this. So this is something that they're constantly struggling with because they still need to make money and have a successful show. So what they've done now is, okay, you can't come into the classes. We're going to hinder you from getting added information or added knowledge because you haven't done the bare basics yet. So we are going to stop you in that area. We're going to stop you there. But it shouldn't have to be that way. It should not have to be that way. And the only reason a lot of us believe that it's not important to get a license or it's not important to do things the right way is because we see others doing it. They seem like they living all right. But let me tell you something. I say this all the time. It's easy to think when you done made it to your little six figures and you making $100,000+ a year and you feel like you doing it. But until you go around a millionaire, that's when you realize you ain't doing nothing. And that's what's happening. We're staying in our same little bubbles with people that's working bogus, doing whatever, running their businesses, whatever. We don't even clean the shops. We don't even make a presentable place for people to walk into. And we think that's okay. This is how we're surviving in this business. And we don't realize that it ain't cool because we aren't in any other circle that shows us any different. When you start expanding your world and you start going out and you see people that's really doing it and six figures to them is a drop in the bucket, and these jokers out here, six figures is six. Now let's talk about seven figures. Let's step it up. Let's talk about, I want to get closer to seven figures. How about that? You ain't gonna get there hustling. Nobody that you even deem as successful, if you think about every person that you cherish, you love, you think, oh, this person, you idolize them. If it's a celebrity, you worship them. Trust me, they did not get there just physically slaving. They had to at some point make some good business decisions. They had to evolve. They had to step up their game, take on added responsibility that required them to think more than it required them to do. This is what got them to their millions. It's only so much hair you can do, y'all. I'm sorry. And it's only so much money you gonna charge average people. Okay? So this is, it breaks my heart, guys. It breaks my heart because I see where we're going and it is not in a good place. It's just not in a good place. And that is something that I'm doing everything in my power. I get more people that call me, direct message me, text me something about wanting to join my coaching groups. And let me tell you what's interesting. They've already listened to the thing about what the coaching groups is about, and that's why they called. But as soon as I tell them how much it costs, now mind you, if you did the math on my coaching groups, either one of them, they equate to $50 a week. That's what they equate to. $50 a week. And it's amazing. And it's funny to me. I'm like, it is what it is. But it's funny to me how these people call me in dire distress because I'm making you level up. They're in dire distress about this, about that, and the other. And I've listened to your lives, and I've listened to you talk about what you offer, and I break it down, and they know these are things that they need, and this, and that, and the other. But as soon as I put a dollar value on it, as soon as I say, and trust me, what I charge you for these groups, if I was the other group, if we checked other, you would be paying this for like a 3-day conference. I'm literally walking through this journey with you for either a year or 18 months at $50 a week. That's what it comes to, guys. $50 a week. And as soon as I put a dollar value on it, people, I could, even through the phone, I could feel the shift. I could feel you know why? Because if I had have told you all that I was teaching a trichology class, or a weave class, or a microblading class, or something for the same money that would equate to $50 a day, you would jump on it. You would be like, cool, let's do it. So I say to you, if you want to survive, if you really want some sustainability in this game, as my partner here, Eddie Natalie Spencer, says, you're going to have to level up. And leveling up is not about how much more hair you can do. It's not. You can only do so much, and half of y'all telling me you're tired anyway. You're like, I'm tired of having to grind and having to work my business so hard. I'm tired of it. Well, then you're going to have to learn some stuff. You're going to have to read some stuff that don't have pictures on it. You're going to have to sit under people that you can be mentored by and coached by. If it ain't me, get somebody. I don't care who you get, but get somebody that can help you, because if we continue to work this way, I see you all getting tired, quitting. I'm done. They already trying to deregulate the licensing period. Half of y'all don't want to work and get a license anyway. You got licenses that ain't renewed. You got people that finished 750 hours at school. They done went out here. And let me say this about the owners. That's your fault too, because y'all ain't even asking people for licenses when they come and work at your shop. And let me tell you something. I own salons for 21 years. I know what it means to need the money. I know what it means to be stressed out because you need somebody to fill these chairs. And so anybody that walks through the door, you like, yes, because I need somebody. You don't even care if they have a license. You are the contributor. Because I say this about anything. If they ain't got nowhere to work, where they gonna work if they ain't got no license? Where they gonna work? They gonna have to work at home. If YouTube taught you, then let YouTube pay for you to work somewhere. Because you ain't coming here. You're not coming here. I know people that you don't even ask people if they have a license. How do you not even ask them? You coming here working, do you realize how much that can get you in trouble? Do you understand that? You're not even asking if they have a license. This is the problem. This is the problem. We have everybody, and I get the money factor, so don't y'all say nothing to me about I've been there. I have lived in my shop because I didn't have no money. I get it. But you got to have some principles, and you got to stand on them, and you got to say, you ain't working, you ain't got no paper, you ain't working here. I'm sorry. Because we got unlicensed professionals working everywhere in brick and mortar places. So where's the problem? The problem lies in all of us. Again, own your part. Realize that we got to do better. If you want to have faith in something, you have to change the way you view it. The only way you're going to change the way you view it is if you change the way you think about it. That only happens when you realize that the way you have been operating is not working. It don't mean it doesn't work. It just means you have not worked it well. I have people call me all the time, salon owners. I'm so sick of not being able to find good staff and woo, and this, that, and the other. And the first thing I ask them is, what have you done? What have you done to make sure that your staff is this way, that way? Do you follow corporate's rules? They use assessment programs, and they put people on probation, and they learn how to do proper interviews. I'm part of Dave Ramsey's group. They have a whole interviewing webinar, which is like a series of like 3 or 4 webinars that teach you about the right questions to ask people. While we online, While we on Facebook for 4 hours, learn some stuff. Go online, spend 3 of them hours, and look for information. How to hire the right people. But we want to spend time doing stuff that doesn't profit us anything. It doesn't teach us anything. And then say, I can't find it. No, you ain't looking for it. Are you really looking for it? I've asked people what they do. I do social media. Okay, and what else? That's it. What have you done? How do you interview them? People can't never give me good answers when I ask them these questions, but you've given up hope on who? Yourself? Because there are good people out there. Now, I ain't saying they're diamond and they're easy to find now, but there are good people out there. And when you become laser focused on what you need and what you need to get from other people, you find them. You put them on probation, make sure they're who they say they are, but you gotta scroll on, go Google that. Okay? There are programs out there. They are not just for corporate. They're for people. Put in the search box. People programs or programs to find good hirees for service-based businesses. See what comes up. You're going to be tired of looking. And these things ain't free. So while you out there buying bags and shoes and all of that, cut some of that budget down and invest it in the stuff that's going to help you grow, where you ain't got to hustle no more. That's what we need to do. And that is not what's happening, guys. So nevertheless, after that, you tell me I'm just done when you haven't even did your part. Say you're done when you've done all that you can, everything that you can do, and it still didn't work, then say you done. But if someone like me can ask you, what have you done in this deficient area of your life that you are not satisfied with? And when you tell me, because they eventually have to be honest, girl, I ain't done much of nothing, then what you tripping on? You ain't done your part. You ain't done your part. Or you haven't searched out to see how other people are doing it. This, I'm going to say this and then I'm actually going to get off because I'm going to go over my time here and I got a lot to do. I say this when I do color. I sit in people's class and I teach, or my class, I'm teaching class, and I have people that still have this idea, because I teach color too, for those of you all that don't know. I have people that have this idea that you can't have a relaxer, not necessarily the same day, which you can do that too, but you can't have a relaxer and have color. So you know what I ask them? I say, okay, and they stand flat-footed on it. You either got to have one or the other. You either got to have color or you got to have relaxer. So you know what I say to them? I say, okay, I'm gonna ride with you on that for 1 second. When I ask them this, when you walk around your grocery store, the mall, wherever you go, and you see black women that have color, are you telling me that every single one of these people you see, you honestly believe that none of them have a relaxer? Do you really believe that? You know what they'll usually tell me? Well, I'm sure some of them probably got a relaxer. Then you know what? If you really believe that some of them may have one, because those of us as hairstylists, we can look at hair and tell when it's natural and when it's relaxed. We know the difference. Then if you know that, and their hair doesn't look like hay, it doesn't look like straw, what that should say to you is somebody did figure out how to do it. So I ain't going to say it can't be done. I'm going to research what do I need to do so that when I do hair and do color and on relaxed hair, that I can make sure that it looks like what I saw at that girl in the grocery store. I want to make sure the hair still looks healthy like that. All you got to do is walk around the world and see stuff and know that it's possible. But the thing that we don't want to do is seek out the information to figure out how to do it. So we say, because we ain't sought nothing out and we don't know nothing, we say it can't exist. It's almost like when I'm in class and I ask people will say I may mention a product or mention some technique or something that people have never ever heard of before. It amazes me when people say, wow, I ain't never heard of that. You know what I ask them? Where have you been to hear of it? Because in order to hear of stuff, you got to either be reading stuff, online listening to stuff, going where here. If you ain't been nowhere but in your little circle, it's a whole lot you ain't heard of. Don't be shocked about none of it. It ain't that the information ain't out there. You ain't out there getting it. That's what it is. So my point is, at the end of this, don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Please get rid of the brawn slave mentality that all we're going to do is work. We now have evolved, thank God for our ancestors that fought hard for us to have options, to go to school, to get education, to read, to learn. This is what people fought for. And we don't want to do it. I don't get it. But as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to do my part. So I want you to be able to do yours. This is Knowledge by Nikki, 1K. I'm out. You all have any comments, questions, direct message me. I'd love to chomp it out with you more. But I'm getting ready to go because I got a lot of work to do. This was a message I wanted to marinate on your mind and prayerfully get you to the point where you realize it's not that you can't keep growing, it's that you have to grow differently. So I'll see you all on Wednesday. Go on my website, knowledgebynikki.com. I got some new classes, new shows. Also, you can see the coaching groups, Aspire, Stretch, and also my Salon Owners Conference, which I may live stream from later. I'm getting ready to go to the hotel. We're going to figure out the setup. So until next Monday, peace out.